So we're working on this property, and boss man, I'll put what he said. I'm trying to remember what he said. It was a pretty long statement that he said, but he is speaking facts. You definitely want to raise your prices after a couple years. More importantly, I think you need to network with other people, with other guys in your area. That way you can compare prices. You guys can kind of like, you can talk with them, kind of like pick the brains if you're stuck on a job or what to do. They'll help you out, and vice versa. I have new guys sending me messages like, hey, what would you do in this situation? And I'll give them my 2 cents for what I would do or what I would charge. And pretty much this is probably one of my bigger accounts. Nothing too crazy. It takes us like 40 minutes and I charge them $90. But when you first start off, you are going to be underbidding, underquoting probably like 60% of your jobs. And it's just a learning process. As you keep doing it better, or as you keep doing it more, you'll get better. But he's saying pretty much he had a few clients for, I believe, like 4 to 5 years, and he never raised the prices on them. And then he finally did, and he lost a good bit of them. And then that's when he had like an epiphany. He had a realization that he was probably one of the cheapest guys in his area. And when I started off, I that's why you have to have a minimum. My minimum is $50 when I first started. Now it's $55. But even last week I got a message. She wanted me to come out, and I gave her a quote for like a cleanup and trimming one myrtle and one pampas grass, and I quoted her $165. And then she said that was too much. How much would it be just for the crepe myrtle? And the crepe myrtle was like a medium size, nothing too crazy. It was honestly small. But I told her my minimum, which was $55, just for me to go out there and do the job. So you definitely need to have a minimum and stick to it. Even now, like I said, my minimum is $55, but that's for like yards that I'm in and out in like 10 to 14 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. Which those are the ones that kind of want more, just because it's all about like the speed, how many can we do, in a day. And then eventually you go over quality, over quantity and whatnot. But I had the exact same thing happen to me where this year, actually, so probably last month, I sent a message to 3 of my clients. And one of them was a new client. He was my neighbor. I gave him a discount, but I told him pretty much for this year, I'm going to have to raise my prices by $10. And he said he'll get back to me. It's been over a month. I haven't heard back from him. And my other 2 clients, I also raised the price by $10. And I'll put a screenshot of pretty much what I told them. And those 2 clients I've had for like over like close to 2 years. So they've been one of my first clients. After I raised the prices on them, one of them I didn't even hear back from, and then the other one, she, after like 3-4 weeks, she got back to me and said, oh no, thank you, thank you for checking in, but we're not going to use your services this year. And for me, because they've been with me for so long, for me, I think that I thought there was like a sense of loyalty. I kind of thought about them more as like a family and whatnot. And it shows you they didn't think about that. All they were thinking about was like, oh, we have a good, he's charging us pretty cheap to maintain our yard. We're going to keep him. But as soon as I raised my prices, I lost them. And does it suck? Yeah, it sucks, because I thought they would have been okay. I thought because I've had them for so long, they'd be like, oh yeah, $10, that's no problem. We know how we appreciate your hard work. We know what you do. And $10 is reasonable, because I was underbidding these jobs. But I definitely agree. You need to raise your prices after a couple years. And you'll know, once you start doing this for a while, you'll know which yards you underbid or underquoted. And then, each year before the season starts, like right now, I texted these 3 clients. I could have texted a few more, but, these were the top 3 that kind of stood out for me. But yeah, you need to be raising your prices. For inflation, gas prices, everything's going up. So it just makes sense for your prices to also go up as well. So I guess what I wanted to touch back on what I just said in my other clip But you really want to network with guys in your area because they know what works, what doesn't work. Y'all can ask, you can ask in my, in my videos, you can leave a comment asking for advice and whatnot. But at the end of the day, like what works for me in my area is not going to work for you in your area. And the best thing to do is just ask people, other lawn care providers in your area. Now, me personally, I talk to 4 guys in my area, and then I talked to one person that kind of, since I started, he's kind of been my mentor. And I joke around and say, he's my mentor or the almighty sensei, because if I'm stuck on something, he's my go-to. For example, I remember I got a retention pond cleanup last year around this time, and I think I quoted like close to 3,000. I ended up landing it, which was crazy for me. I thought it was going to take us like 2-3 days, and pretty much when I was messaging him, I was like, this is my plan of attack. I'm going to use machetes, or I'm going to use, my weed eaters. And this retention pond was so overgrown. It had like trees like this size, but they were pine trees starting to get pretty big. And he's like, you're crazy. Just go to Home Depot and rent a billy goat. And I didn't even know what a billy goat was because I was so new. And just by him giving me a little bit of advice or what he would do in this job, it saved me like 2 full days of work, and ultimately a lot of money. And we were actually able to get that done in 8 hours because of the billy goat. And it's things like that. Like there are people out there that are winning and will gladly help you out. They want to help you out because they're like, if I can do it, you can do it. And that's the whole purpose of this channel. Again, I had 0 experience, and I didn't know what I was doing. I got screamed at. I lost clients because I wasn't blowing their driveway, because I wouldn't edge when I first started. I was a mess, but I needed to go through those hard L's, I guess, to get to where I am now. But if I had someone like my mentor, right, from the beginning, I wouldn't have made those mistakes, and ultimately I wouldn't have lost those clients from the beginning. So people that are winning, that are truly winning, that are truly successful, they're going to hear you out. They're going to want to help you out because they're going to see themselves in you. And at the end of the day, like we wish we had someone like us now to kind of guide you through the process. And the people that aren't winning, that kind of see you as a competition, that aren't running a successful business, they're not going to give you advice. So like if someone doesn't want to help you, they're not successful. They don't have, they're not killing it enough to spare you a few clients or give you some advice so that you can succeed. Now I do have one buddy that's been in the game, I think like 4 or 5 years. And last year he sent me like 2 or 3 clients because he's already pretty much full. So I did ask for him. That's something that I would never ask another lawn care guy, like, or provider. Hey, can you send me clients? No, like I need to go out here and do the work and kind of get clients myself. But it's different when they do it out of the kindness of their heart, I guess. But they're out there, just find them. And at the end of the day, again, you run your business the way you want to, what works for you. It's your business. You, at the end of the day, a lot of us are trying to help, and it might come across as like arrogant or know-it-alls and whatnot. But we're really just trying to help you. And I get comments all the time like, oh, hey, you should be doing this, or you need to be doing that. And I don't take it too hard. Like I read it. Do I feel some type of way? Not really, no. Like I read it and then I move on, and a day or two, like I forget about it until I make a video, and I'm like, okay, let me go through these comments and let me see which one I'm gonna respond to and whatnot. So Bossman is asking if I charge more or how much do I charge for spraying. So I think spraying should be included in your lawn care maintenance package. If anything, it should give you more confidence. It should give you like more confidence on increasing your prices. So again, like something like this, like if I'm quoting, like, if I come in, I'm like, I'll charge 80, but let me add $10, let me add $5, $7, $8, whatever, because I'm going to be spraying. And obviously, the client at the end of the day thinks like they're getting a discount, but in reality, you charge them for you spraying throughout the year and whatnot. But no, I mean, it's included in my pricing, and for me, it gives me more confidence to give them a higher quote than what I normally would without spraying. And there are clients out there that don't want me to spray. If they have cats or dogs, they'll be like, oh yeah, we don't want you to spray. And I just tell them, okay, well, it's just part of, it's a complimentary service. Like it's still the same price if you want me to spray or not. And then there's other people that they're like, oh yeah, you know, our last lawn care person didn't do that. And you know, obviously I'm a little bit more expensive, or I think maybe, I'm not sure. But you know, it all adds up if you just charge the client and have them pay for it. But yeah, I think that's it for this video. You know, network, raise your prices, know your worth. If you're starting out, it's hard to do it at the beginning, but your time will come, I promise you. Your time will come where I'm at, where you're getting rid of these bad clients. It hurts, but it's part of the process. Peace.